Welcome back to Astral Doorway. In this episode, I will be giving a sort of synthesized, summarized, step-by-step method of how I approach astral projection. If you're not a subscriber to the channel, please go ahead so we can explore the wonderful world of astral projection together. Before I do that, I just want to say thank you to the few people who have left reviews on my book. It brought a big smile to my face to read them. You guys clearly understood the essence of the book and the teachings there and enjoyed it. So thank you for leaving those comments, and I wish you the best of luck for your practice. So, first of all, I want to express that as the rational, intellectual mammals that we all are, we're always looking for methods and techniques for almost everything new we learn. In this case, we often treat astral projection like a microwave meal where you just read a step-by-step manual and bish bash bosh, you're all done, right? You can't just approach astral projection like that. I'm not saying it's not easy. It can be very easy and simple if you're more of an instinctive and intuitive person who doesn't overthink the process. So what I'm saying is you have to understand astral projection is something very profound and only realized when you're willing to let go of your current fears and preconceptions related to the practice. To awaken your consciousness literally outside of your physical body with your full senses intact is a monumental feat in reality that most people will never consciously experience. And some people think it takes too much effort. I say, sure, but it's completely worth it. I don't see any reason as to why you shouldn't practice it, to be honest. We're in the age of a radical revolution of consciousness, and we should act accordingly with vigor and strengths to journey into the unknown with all our spiritual yearning and curiosity as the fuel to go beyond our conventional thought patterns and transcend old paradigms of thinking. So, my advice is, where possible, don't rely too much on step-by-step methods. If you do that, it ultimately just leaves you asking, why isn't it working? If you're left asking yourself excessively, why isn't it working? And you get upset, frustrated, or disappointed about the fact that it's not working, or that you think it's not working because you're not being patient enough, then you're basically missing the point of the practice, which is to be in a state of non-expectation, non-thinking, non-analyzing, right? To be in a profound meditative state, not putting excessive egoic expectation on it, and just putting in the work without complaining, just carrying on. And, if you continue on like this, it's highly likely that you will succeed. So rather relying on step-by-step guides, rely on discipline, motivation, inspiration, patience, and intention. Even with just these traits, you can achieve it. Seriously, with intention alone. For example, I recently joined the Spiritual Forum's website and offered my help in the astral projection section, and someone called Astral Susie really liked my astral projection motivation video, and she said she basically repeatedly watched that video until she astral projected, which she did and eventually came out of body. You can see her message on the screen now. This is just one example of when someone is highly motivated and can achieve whatever they want simply through motivation. It's like the law of attraction, right? If you really want it, it will happen. The things will fall into place into your life, and you will know what is right for you. So I could just leave this video here, right? That's all you need to know. But of course, we need to entertain our logical minds in some way. And I'll give my step-by-step guide here. And just think, if there was some ultimate or definitive instruction on how to astral project, then we would have many more astral projectors in the world, wouldn't we? However, astral projection is more based on a level of consciousness that allows it to happen, rather than thinking about ways that it can happen. So, this attitude of approaching astral projection in a wholesome and spiritual way with motivation, willpower, and intention, instead of just a half-hearted, egotistical experiment, is how we should prioritize the way we approach the practice. And this is something I go in depth into in my book. Honestly ask yourself why you want to astral project. Is it so you can gain superpowers and think you're cool? Maybe you want some interesting experiences so you can show off to others, make a YouTube channel like me. Maybe you want to feel like a god, or maybe you want to become enlightened like the Buddha. These are ultimately egoic reasons because you're wanting to become more than you are now. And that's not really the direction true enlightenment is about. The true path is about becoming aware of what you are right now and then going beyond that. It's about a disintegration of your current preconceptions about reality and breaking them. Becoming more does not happen by wanting. It happens by surrendering and letting go, by dying to what you are now. And that involves giving up on childish and immature dreams or ambitious dreams, no matter how spiritual they are. In extreme cases, frankly, I can't stand narcissistic people who call themselves God because they can astral project or something. Astral projection is natural to every living creature. Just because you can astral project does not mean you are enlightened or psychic or clairvoyant. No, one can be extremely egotistical and still have the ability. Trust me, the people who live from love, who are virtuous and help others in their life, are in for a much better afterlife than those who vainly seek spiritual abilities for their own sake. The primary underlying attitudes towards astral projection should be from the purest aspects and teachings of our heart, right? And from all religions throughout antiquity, including Christianity, Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism, right? There is a Gnostic teacher who says that all religions are precious pearls strung on the golden thread of divinity. And so our primary underlying attitudes in this practice should be the pure aspects from those teachings, such as Christianity, Taoism, Zen Buddhism, Eastern and Western philosophies. The real teaching is from love and with the goal of awakening consciousness, and also with the intention of helping others on the way. So, with that said, here is my step-by-step method. Number 1, be interested and passionate. Read books, meditate, and watch videos on astral projection. just like this one. Study it and contemplate it in a lot of your free time. Number 2, always question your reality as often as you can. Ask yourself throughout the day, am I in the astral? Do reality checks to confirm. As I've said in previous videos, my favorite reality check is to hold my nose shut and try to breathe through them. If I can't, then I'm in the physical. If I can, then I'm either in the astral plane or in a dream. If I'm in a dream, then I will use the flying or falling technique to induce vibrations to enter the astral plane. This technique is discussed in my video on how to turn a lucid dream into astral projection, which is on the screen now. Number 3, before sleeping, set an alarm for you to wake up anywhere between 4 and 6 hours of sleep. You can test what is the best time for you over the course of several days. It's no problem. Personally, I usually have my most success after 6 hours of sleep, but I've also had success with 3 hours, 4 hours, etc. Now, when you go to sleep, you're going to set intentions to astral project when you first go to bed, right? But waking up in the middle of the night and then going back to sleep will also act as a second attempt by giving a jolt to your consciousness. And actually, when you go to sleep during the second time in the middle of the night, you're probably going to have a much better chance of being successful because of REM cycles, and also the fact that you're very sleepy and lethargic, so you won't be overthinking the process. People usually have a lot more success in the middle of the night like this. So when you wake up in the middle of your sleep, simply walk around a bit, or preferably meditate while sitting up. You can stay awake for anywhere between 5 minutes to half an hour, but the important thing here is to stay feeling drowsy and sleepy so that you can easily fall back to sleep. In this state, your body basically stays asleep, and you should be intending for your mind to stay somewhat aware of what is happening. Don't go off in thoughts and dreams, just center yourself and ground yourself. Step number 4. As you drift off to sleep, both when you first go to sleep and during the middle of your night attempt, say affirmations such as, I will astral project. I will be conscious while my physical body sleeps. Or I will travel to where I intend to go once I'm out of body. You can say these mentally, or you can say these out loud as well, if that helps. But you must feel this emotionally when you say it. You must feel it in your body, in every cell of your being. Desire it, crave it, will it. Do not say it robotically, Believe every word wholeheartedly, as if you're praying. Don't say it like, I will astral project, I will astral project. It is so much more effective to say it once with conviction, belief, and faith, rather than saying it 100 times robotically and unconsciously. Now, this is basically step 4.5, because it's an optional one, as I know some people won't be as open to it. But if you are comfortable with mentally reciting mantras as you sleep, I was taught by my Gnostic teacher the following mantra, which I have had much success with. It goes, Fa, Ra, On. And with this mantra, you lull yourself to sleep with it. And as you do, you see in your mind's eye the Egyptian pyramids of Giza, and you lay on your back with your knees bent upwards so that your legs form a pyramid. and with your arms rested at your side, like what you can see on the screen. And as you do this, without knowing how, as you fall to sleep, you will spontaneously find yourself in the astral plane at some point. Whether you experience coming out of the body or you just find yourself becoming conscious at any point during the night. The mantra is separated by a breath each time, so it's pronounced like this. Fa Ra Om. Don't ask me how this works. It's just one of those things. It just works. We're always looking for explanations to the mysteries of life. That's what science is for, and it's great. But not everything needs an explanation, especially an intellectual explanation, which barely does the reality of spiritual mysteries justice. This mantra was believed to have been used by pharaohs in ancient Egypt to leave the body. If you think this is weird, then simply don't do it. It's not for you. If you can't get comfortable in the position I mentioned, then don't worry. You can still astral project from any position. It really doesn't matter. But this position does help with focus and consciously controlling the body, not letting it just move around automatically, unconsciously, impulsively all the time, right? That's something a lot of people forget in this practice, that we need to also discipline the body a little bit. How can you expect to control your astral body if you can't control your physical body in waking life? So if you do want to try to use this position, but you struggle falling asleep in it, then perhaps try some breathing meditation before you do this, so you feel tired. Or try this position when you go back to sleep in the middle of the night, because that way you should already feel tired and you should easily be able to fall back to sleep. So, number 6, either as you fall to sleep when you first go to bed or in the middle of your night's attempt, you may begin to feel vibrations. Do not panic or get overexcited or start analyzing or thinking. Be like a Zen monk. Go with the flow and allow whatever new experiences or sensations to unfold naturally, and remember your goal. You may begin to feel your whole body is being sort of electrocuted, not in a painful way, it's just in a extrasensory way, and you may hear loud sounds as well, and you may even see swirling colors in your vision. During this time, all these sensations will start to peak, and you will eventually be able to simply will yourself out of your body. You can lean into those sensations and simply get up or float up or roll out or just intend to stand in a location in your room. But essentially, just don't overthink the exiting stage. Just simply get up as you usually would, but not with the physical body. If you're struggling, this may take a bit of force. So simply force yourself out with strength and vigor, like you're pushing through a brick wall. This may not always be effective though, and if you notice the hypnagogic sensations fade, then simply go back to your natural state and wait for the sensations to come back, and then attempt to exit the body when they seem to hit their peak again. But just remember, this is not something you need to think about. All of the exiting stages and phases will happen naturally. So step number 7, once you're out, again, do not overthink anything. remain like a Zen monk and just get outside of your house. This can be your first mission, to just get outside. Or, just carry out your desire to achieve what you originally set out to do. If you had no prior intent, then simply just walk. Explore and appreciate your surroundings. Visual appreciation and calmly enjoying the experience around you keeps you grounded. Step number 8. When you wake up, don't move your physical body. If you do, it's fine, but just stay still once you remember that you have to recall your experiences. And once you're still, just close your eyes and replay the entire experience in your memory in detail. Go through every step and try to note down even all the insignificant details, such as the color of objects in a room, whether it was daytime or nighttime, what the weather was like. You can even draw scenes that you saw. You will find that as you recall more details, even more in-depth details will come flooding into your memory. If you didn't astral project, you must still record all of your dreams, no matter how insignificant you think they are. Every dream and every detail you manage to recall, the stronger you enforce your connection to the non-physical dimension and your memory of it, which ultimately boosts your chances of astral projection in the future. And number 9, above all, if nothing happens, that is fine. Every attempt on this path is progress. Your subconscious learns no matter what. Patience is crucial. We sleep every day, which means you have every day to practice. The average lifespan is over 70 years old. There are over 25,000 days in 70 years, so you have at least 25,000 attempts. Every night you don't do it is basically a night wasted. I mean, what else are you going to do when you go to sleep? Nothing. You might as well make better use of your time and astral project. If you are truly patient and have faith that you will eventually astral project, I guarantee it will happen. So that's it. And if you're wondering how long it will take for you to achieve this, and you keep asking yourself, when will it happen? Well, it's less about how quick it can happen and more about one's skill to achieve a level of consciousness where astral projection flows naturally. That level of consciousness is best found in relaxation and meditation, not thinking. In such a meditative state, one would never ask or wonder how long it takes, because such a question implies that one is trying to reach a particular state. Yet the mind of the astral projector only reaches their astral state through allowing and accepting whatever state they are already in, and thus the astral projection phenomena flows naturally. Of course, it takes practice to understand what I'm saying completely. And, since we're all infinitely unique, there's no definitive time that it takes to achieve astral projection. It entirely depends on the individual. The point is, this is nothing to worry about or think about. All you need to do is practice. And in your practice, you will likely find yourself in states of consciousness where your mind does not ask such a question. So stay in that frame of mind and patiently wait for the day you experience it. It will happen. And enjoy whatever you learn on the way. The whole path of astral projection is a learning experience. So enjoy it and don't question it too much and don't doubt it. If you're on this path, it's a great path and you will learn a lot on the way if you don't doubt yourself. So, I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and if you have success with it, please let me know in the comments below. Best of luck with your practice, and I'll see you on the next episode.